All right.
That's it.
Mark, you're number one.
So my number one.
Your favorite episode.
Yeah.
It's probably my least favorite episode.
Well, I hope so. No.
This ought to be good.
Let me scroll back up here.
This is going to be funny.
Do dreams bleed?
Do you know what time it is?
It's time to take your medicine.
This is my least favorite episode.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I hate this
way.
The coach one?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I hate this episode.
No way. This is a great episode.
This is my least. I fucking hate
so
this episode.
all 22 episodes in the first season.
Fuck this episode.
Wow.
That's
That's incredible.
Do dreams bleed? I swear to God,
we
this
did
is
not
my
plan
lead. I
this.
got to scroll all the way to the fucking shit stained bottom to get to this one. I cannot believe you liked this episode. Oh my God, this episode sucks so much shit. Yeah, Do Dreams Bleed? Look, number one worst.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it.
Wow. Freddy's Nightmares. Anyone can love or hate any episode. There's no rhyme or reason. Here's the thing. You're like, oh, it's my favorite episode. I'm like, oh, it's my least favorite episode. You're right.
Yep.
I'm right.
I have no criticism whatsoever.
The thing is, we're both right.
Yeah.
It is equally great and bad. Right. They're all like this. Yeah. No, I hate this episode.
Really?
I fucking hate it.
So okay, do you want to
I mean, I'll go through it, but okay. Feel free to interject with your version of the plot. Yep. But okay, so this is one of the ones where plot A and B are basically the same story.
Yep.
Okay, so plot A, John is the main character. He's like the star football player at Springwood High. Talk about world building. Springwood High comes up a lot. It's like the local school, the high school.
Yep.
I appreciate that we get this little home base high school that they can keep bringing random kids. They can keep coming back.
Yep.
Back to it.
It's a horrible place to go to school, apparently.
Oh, all the kids are just getting wiped out. Right, yeah. Well, there is that one guy from part 4. He goes there.
Yep, that's true.
Hey, baby. It's not all bad. There's some cool kids there. So John is the star football player. He's like the most popular kid in school, yada, yada. He happens to stumble upon, there's a local killer on the loose called the Springwood Chopper. Mm-hmm. Not the Springwood Slasher, the Springwood Chopper.
That's right. Uses an axe.
So,
of course.
Oh, it's so clever.
Yep.
Okay. And he happens to just the chopper is literally like murdering someone, like chopping them into pieces. And then John just like runs into him. He's like walking. I don't know. It's like, I think it's on the school grounds or near the school, but he's just like, oh my God. And then the guy runs off. And then he's like traumatized from this. No shit.
He sees it. Nobody else seems to see it. Yeah.
Well, no. It happened because it was in the paper. So it did happen. Like he stumbled up. He found a dead body, basically. It's the equivalent of like he found someone getting murdered. That is a horrible thing to have to experience. Yeah. So he's like suffering from PTSD. He's like having recurring nightmares about it. And he's like frustrated with himself because he feels guilty that he couldn't identify the killer or stop the killer. So he's like living with this,
because it is a dream, right? He sees these in dreams, but he's seeing an event that does happen.
It did happen.
But he's seeing it in his dreams. So he's not physically there.
No, but it did happen.
It does happen. Yeah. These murders are actually occurring in real life.
It did happen.
Yeah.
He did, because I think it was in the paper, because before the episode started, he found a dead body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty certain.
But he's not standing there when the guy's killing him. He sees it, but he's not physically present there.
No, I think he was. Yeah, no, that was the way I interpreted it. I think it happened before the episode.
Right. One of the things
that he's having recurring nightmares about it. Yeah. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
No, you don't agree with me?
No, I think he's just, because he keeps having like, and
right, but because he's traumatized about what he saw.
Yeah, no, but I don't think he was like physically present for
that event.
Murders,
no. See, I think he was there for the one time.
Remember, this is their link to, okay, how do we?
This episode sucks shit.
No, it's awesome.
Before the episode happened, he stumbled upon one of the murders happening. Like he actually ran into one of the murders. That's why everyone was concerned about him. That's why, because I swear to God, at one point there was a paper article that was like, local boy finds dead body.
Oh man! And again, Justin could be completely right about this, even though it's my favorite episode. Can't tell you for certain if that's what happened.
Okay, well, it makes more sense because that's why he had PTSD, because he felt guilty that when he stumbled upon the murder, he didn't stop the guy.
John, I just want to know what's going on with you.
What do you think? He's still out there somewhere. The Springwood chopper with 3 deaths in 3 weeks? I found the last victim, remember? No offense, Coach, but I've had all my counseling from the cop.
That was the whole thing, where he's like, I could have done more, Coach. I could have done more. So anyways, everyone is, we'll debate about this, but I mean.
It doesn't matter.
It
does not matter.
So everyone is concerned about John, and his grades begin to slip in school because obviously he's going through PTSD. So the way you interpreted this was he was just dreaming?
So you'll get to it, but there's an answer to both of this because we're both right.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
But we're not.
No, we're not. Okay. No, we're not, damn it. No. It belongs on my side of the spectrum, not on your side. I can't believe you're number one. I can't wait to hear your positives. But all right, finishing the plot. So everyone's like concerned. They're like, John, like you know, you went through this horrible thing. Like, you know, don't let this get to you. Like you saw a person get murdered. That would fuck anybody. And then my least favorite character in the entire series, John's fuckface coach. Do you know his name? It's Coach something.
Yeah, I actually kind of liked him because normally he plays scummy characters,
and he does in this too.
No, in this he's kind of decent. He's a decent guy. He's not like he's not like the coach in Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
No, he's just as bad as the coach in Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
He's looking out for his students. You know, he hits them with hard truths, but he's got their interests at heart.
You've been a superboy at this school for 3 years. Any chink in the armor is going to draw attention.
Yeah, attention from everyone except my parents, right?
It's the price of fame, kid.
What's that supposed to mean?
What would you do if you had a kid that did everything right? After a while, you'd stop paying attention. You'd expect perfection.
My mistake. I should have been a chronic screw-up, right?
Like the chopper?
Mark is out of his mind right now. Okay, so John's coach is like this fuck face that's like this weirdo.
I think you are so used to seeing him being a scummy guy.
What else? I don't know him in anything else.
Every role that he ever plays
because he has a fuck face. He just has one of those, just like, oh, I just like to rearrange that fucking face. Yeah,
but I think that plays into it because
shit-eating face.
You're expecting him to be a slimy, smarmy jerk,
but he is.
But he's not. No,
he is.
He's a decent, upstanding guy.
Then what the fuck happened in the B plot?
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay. So no, Mark's wrong. My radar was right. He's a fucking fuckface. So John has a girlfriend named Ronnie, and she's constantly being annoying and constantly asking him to open up to her, which, you know, women try to change men. That's not like this is the most believable part of the episode is that his girlfriend just wouldn't leave it alone and just keeps digging at him. But basically she's just like, John, why won't you open up to me? Why won't you talk to me? It's like,
I didn't even know that you found the chopper's last victim until I saw it on the news.
What do you want me to do, Ron?
I want you to talk to me. You don't have to hide anything from me. Don't you understand? Get it?
He saw someone get murdered. Give the man a fucking little bit of space. Christ. Like, let him work out his feelings. But what precedes is John having nightmares about the chopper and about watching this happen. His coach constantly showing up being like, how'd that make you feel, buddy? How'd that make you feel? Did you see any details about the chopper? Anything interesting stick out to you?
He just looked up at me, swinging his axe.
Did you see him? See his face?
No, it's just like it was in real life. I only saw him for a second. In the dream, I'm so close, though.
But you still didn't see him clearly.
No, I'm always on the verge. Just know he's after me.
Maybe he wants you because he thinks you saw him.
And he just keeps coming up and keeps coming up and keeps coming up. And then Ronnie and his parents being like, John, you got to get over this. And then this formula goes on and on and on. Where I got until, it goes on and on and on until the chopper shows up and attacks John and Ronnie. So like Ronnie's staying over at John's place or John's staying at Ronnie's place. Who cares? The chopper shows up and there's like a struggle. It's like in the dark and then the light comes on and the coach is sitting on top of John's unconscious body holding an axe. And it clearly looks like the coach is the chopper. But he, for some reason, is able to convince everyone that no, John is the chopper, and the coach arrived to stop him because the coach suspected that John was doing all these awful things. How are you selling us on this? It's so clearly even the build of the chopper is like a guy that's like 6. He's like your height, but John is like my height.
Nope.
It's so clearly not John. Like a silhouette of the chopper is so clearly not John's body. It's so clearly the coach's body.
Yeah. And the Phantom was actually the artist. Come on. Like, somewhere along the line, they swapped parts there.
So, the coach, and then it's so.
And just to be clear, Justin is only able to say this because he knows how the episode ends. Right?
Yeah, but it doesn't. No,
benefit of hindsight.
No. It was so obviously the coach in the first part. I didn't even have to see the second one. It was so obvious. Okay, the coach is needlessly interested in all the details. He continuously asks questions to John, being like, "So, did you see what he looked like?"
Any of your friends know about them? Did you see him? See his face? But you still didn't see him clearly. Maybe he wants you because he thinks you saw him. Did you see any more of the chopper? Any more detail?
If I could just see the face. I'm so close. Every time I dream, I see more.
Well, don't try too hard, John. You might not like what you see.
Do you get any more details? Like, it's so obvious that he's like looking, he's like probing for information. And then there's like a shot of him like evilly like looking up John's address and then like circling it. And I swear to God, it doesn't show his face, but I'm sure if it did, his face was probably like, but like, there's like that shot where he's like, all right, I'm circling John's address.
He's concerned for his star quarterback. And
yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
You know,
Mark, were you the star quarterback and you had a coach that was just like this man? Because the fact that you're like, no, this guy's a solid dude.
This guy's all right.
Yeah. Is there someone in your past that,
Well, he's interested in making sure that our protagonist here doesn't fall off the wayside, that he's got his future because, he's getting scouted and, he's got a great college career ahead of him. Stay focused. Don't let this stuff distract you. He's a great man.
Fuck this plot. So then the ending is so bad because it's just like, then the police get called and like John's parents are there and Ronnie's just like, I don't know what I saw. And then the coach is like, no, this is what you saw. What you saw was John was trying to kill you and I knocked him out and John's really the killer. And that's what you should all believe. And they're all like, yeah, okay, we'll commit John. We'll commit our son. And then so they're like, yeah, that's obviously what it is, coach guy. For some reason, we're believing you, not our son. And then he gaslights John. So then John's like in a stretcher and it's so goofy. He's like getting stretchered out and he's like, coach, I'm crazy. And the coach is like, yeah, I'm afraid so.
I'm the chopper?
Yes.
I'm crazy?
Yep.
Go figure.
I don't think it was quite as ham-fisted as you.
Bullshit!
Yeah.
Bullshit! I will cut to it right now.
I'm the chopper?
Yes.
I'm crazy?
Yep.
That's literally what he says. He goes like, I'm crazy, coach? And he's like, yeah, I'm afraid so, buddy.
Okay, but within the confines of this show, it's about as good as you're going to get, right? Like every actor in this series is chewing the scenery, right? Like other than maybe Lar Park Lincoln, who did a decent job. Everybody else is just leaning into their characters way too much. So you kind of have to just buy some things when they tell you.
So Mark basically what, in case you're wondering what you just saw, basically Mark watched Freddy's Dead, and then he was just like, yeah, that's the best one out of all of them, obviously.
That is the level of performance that I'm going to hold as the benchmark for every episode in the series.
Why don't you sell the B plot? Why don't you tell us it? Because I've already said a lot. Get into the B plot, please.
So basically his girlfriend is now having PTSD about all this, right?
Which, good connection.
Yeah.
Good connection.
Her boyfriend is in a mental institution or whatever, in some kind of hospital.
He gets committed.
Yep.
No, because the parents commit him because they're like, we got to do this quietly.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's now committed.
Yep. And, so she's having a really hard time of it, and they kind of have a bunch of filler in the middle there. But essentially what ends up happening is killer comes back for her.
Yeah, because the killer didn't get caught in the first fucking part.
But you didn't know that. So it's double twist.
You didn't know that unless you've seen a film or a TV show before. Then you could probably figure it out pretty easily. But so basically the coach is revealed to be the killer. Like, to me, it was really obvious in the first part, but in the second part, they are hammering you in the head with how obvious it is. Like, the coach goes to visit John, and he continues to try to gaslight him, where he's like, you should fess up. Like, you did all this, son. Like, you're the killer. Like, nobody else. And he's like, here, take your meds. He's forcing drugs down his throat, so he stays drugged up, so he can't talk.
Ronnie persists in thinking you're innocent. She asked me to come and see you.
How is she?
She's very upset. You don't want to upset her anymore, do you?
No.
And you know what you did, don't you? You are
the chopper.
You have to accept it. And then we can start the long road back.
And then he gaslights his girlfriend. His girlfriend's name is Ronnie.
Yep.
He gaslights Ronnie into thinking, she's like, you got to let it go. Your boyfriend, he was crazy. Just let it go, okay? And then Ronnie's like, yeah, but new people have gotten chopped up. And he's like, yeah, don't worry about that. You have anything else you want to add on the plot?
And then he comes in, and then turns out...
I hate the ending. The ending can suck my dick.
He gets out of the hospital, and he's still in his full football uniform.
You're right. Okay. You caught that.
Awesome.
You caught that. Yeah.
Because otherwise we wouldn't recognize who he is if he doesn't have his shoulder pads on.
Why wouldn't they just give him a nightgown or something, like a hospital gown?
Nope.
So Ronnie starts having cryptic dreams about the chopper and John, and it's something, it's like a fever dream. It's something like David Lynch would concoct. It's just random shit. And I just found them so nonsensical. It's 20 minutes of that. And then it finally ends with the coach shows up, attacks Ronnie, but again, it's in the dark and she can't quite see what's happening. And John is in his football gear.
Yep.
And he attacks the coach and tries to stop him. And he saves her from killing the coach, and then he kills the coach with the axe. But then Ronnie's confused with what she saw. So then the cops show up and they just arrest John. They're just like, oh, okay, so he was the killer, and for some reason this situation just happened again, but he killed somebody. Yeah, you're coming with us, son. You're locked up.
Well, remember, they always thought it was him.
Right.
So when they show up and they see him over the body of the coach.
With the axe.
Right?
Yeah.
All that does is confirm what they already believed to be true.
Right.
Was that he was the killer the whole time. So it's it's a double twist, buddy.
I hate everything about this show. I want you to tell me, just go into your positives. I got nothing to give you.
So I felt like if you take all of the Nightmare on Elm Street fluff off of this is a great horror story. This could have been like a Tales from the Crypt story where you've got somebody who everyone believes is the killer, or someone is going around killing people. You have somebody that knows about it and is sort of broken up about it. Whether or not you can kind of see where they're going, because as we know in this series, it was always you the whole time, except when it's not, right? But they make you believe, they do, that he was the killer, and that was the end of the A story. So I'm like, cool, they've got a tight, it's a good horror story. Someone's killing, we don't know who it is. Turns out it was him the whole time. They take him away. But then there's another twist at the end. It wasn't him the whole time. It was the coach the whole time. And I thought it was just a cool horror story. It was tightly wrapped. They made good use of the 45 minutes. Hey, on a level of suckitude, it sucked a little less than the other episodes. I thought I could make sense of this one in as much as you can make sense of any of these. I thought it was the effects were okay. Like, they didn't go too crazy. It boiled down to a simple murderer plot, which after watching some of these episodes that are so convoluted, I felt, okay, good. I understand what's going on here. Someone's killing people, and that's all we need to know, right? And they stuck with that, and they fooled you into thinking that the coach was a good guy. And watch the episode. Tell us in the comments whether or not I was totally out to lunch and that you could see. I think Justin, because he knows how it ends, he feels, yeah. But I imagine you were watching that. And you're like, yeah, this coach is a good dude.
No.
Yeah.
I think you were watching and you're like, oh, it's just like Coach Jacobs I had when I was the star running back. Like,
you only tried to murder me twice.
Right. So. Yeah. I think I'll summarize my feelings here with a little note I have here. I go. It's 46 minutes of nothing. No arc, no real story to tell, no interesting characters, and the most obvious twist of all time, it's complete shit. That's how I felt.
I think the first twist was obvious, but the second one, that one was kind of cool.
It was so obviously the coach.
Yeah.
Did you honestly not think it was the coach? I'm blown away by this. You're smart.
And I'll have to go back and...
now we have to add an asterisk.
Now we're not sure. I don't know if there were continued killings in the B plot. And I think that is part of it. I think they stopped.
They stopped, but then there was one more.
Okay.
There was one more, because that's why Ronnie was like... Yeah. Oh, didn't you see? It can't be John. And then the coach was just like, oh, shut up, Ronnie. Like, you fucking, and that's why he goes after him. Yeah. And then John realizes it and he's like, I got to save Ronnie. And then he does. And his reward is basically the cops are just like, come on, psycho, back to the loony bin for you.
I mean, he technically did kill somebody.
A murderer.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I mean, no one's ever going to know that he was the...
number one, Mark.
Number one.
Number
it was a good...
You
good
put this
horror
over
story.
Sister's Keeper? How is this better than Sister's Keeper?
Okay, so one thing you got to understand.
I know this is Freddy's nightmares. You don't got to understand shit.
Yeah,
you are meant not to understand what you're watching.
In a lot of ways, any of the episodes that didn't tie into Freddy Krueger tended to do better for me because...
Yeah, it seems like you like the ones that were just... This could have been any anthology.
Just don't.
This could have been Night Gallery.
Yeah,
like, it could have been anything. Yeah.
And I felt like this one stood out as a decent enough horror story that 16-year-olds could watch on TV. Right? Like, if you're expecting more than that from any of these episodes, your expectations are too high. I thought this was just a decent story. They tried to pull a twist off. Whether or not you believed it or not doesn't really matter. They tried to do something. It was a story that had a start and an end. That's really all I could say.
All right, moving on. Let's move on
I hope you leave that in.